Today, I received this letter. Dear John, I send sincere congratulations to you on becoming an IEEE Section Chairman. I'm sure the members of Alpha Section will benefit from your leadership contributions during the forthcoming year, just as I am pleased to have you as a member of the Western Region Committee. Being Section Chairman for a 600-member section is a big job, as you have recognized from your experience in various section offices and committee chairmanships over the last several years. With the fine support you've had from your employer, Omega Systems Incorporated, you are very sensitive to the need for developing a strong team of committee chairmen and good working committees, all serving with good employer support. I see the section chairman role as one of leadership and interface with the region organization and IEEE. Remember, the region organization stands ready to assist with your programs and problems, so don't hesitate to call on me or the area chairman assigned to Alpha Section. I'm also most interested in your plans for the year and would like to schedule a visit with you and your executive committee at an early date convenient to you. Again, my sincere congratulations, and I look forward to a pleasant and productive association. Sincerely, John Black, Director, Western Region. Last night, Alpha Section had its final executive committee meeting for the previous year. When Ralph pinned the section chairman's pin on my lapel, handed me the gavel, and shook my hand, it took a moment to realize that the ball was now in my lap. When I read the inscription on the gavel, "Give us the reins, but keep us looking forward," I realized how appropriate the message was. Give the committee chairman lots of leadership, but don't get in their way. Ralph has done an excellent job in the past year, and now the shoes are mine to fill. I guess I'm lucky to some extent to have served 6 years on the executive committee, and Ralph has given me lots of responsibility as his vice chairman when I had the technical affairs of the section to handle. The personal attention I give to getting our new organization rolling will determine how successful the section will be during my year. You just get a different kind of feel when you realize you're the senior executive officer of the section, and now those things the nominating committee has talked about are a reality affecting you personally. It seems to me that my performance will have a direct bearing on the overall operations of the section and the Institute. I'm beginning to realize more and more how the section can influence IEEE affairs. Boy, I've just got to do a good job this year. And I guess it's time to pull together some ideas about the job and getting organized. IEEE headquarters was really on the ball a couple of days ago to send me, as the new section chairman, a letter confirming that my name had been recorded as section chairman, offering assistance, and furnishing me with the current section manual and guidelines for organizing the various section committees. The information on my regional director, his address, telephone number, as well as a photograph, gave me a lot of good information. And there also was a map showing the territorial boundaries of my section in relation to the other sections in the region. This is really useful information. It gave me a feel for where I belonged within the organizational structure of the Institute. I know I have a boss, my regional director, someone to go to if I get into difficulty or need advice. Now let me think this organizational thing through. Let me go back to some of the notes I took down at the last executive committee meeting. My first meeting with the section executive committee will be a long one. It will be an organization meeting where clear understandings will have to be developed on so many things. Goals and objectives, definition of responsibilities, assignment of specific duties with deadline dates for accomplishment. I felt that the time that we would have to devote to this important meeting will get activities rolling in the right direction and really pay dividends. At the second meeting of the committee in August, everyone will have to have done their homework and be pretty well organized for the activities that are scheduled to get underway by September. My objective is to have things run so smoothly and efficiently that the section executive committee can give some attention to other important matters, such as long-range planning and policy matters, to help the next guy who will succeed me. There's sure one thing about getting section activities underway. It's essential to captivate the interest and enthusiasm of the members at the very start of the season. I think we're going to have to recommend that more funds be committed to publicizing these initial meetings and our whole program for the year, so that it will generate greater participation on the part of the membership in our activities. In that first section publication for September, I'm going to invite members to send in their comments and suggestions that they may have on any or all phases of the section operations. I'm glad some of the activities are now underway. As manager of my section, I've been doing what I feel is best to get things rolling and to stimulate the development of good operating plans by the executive committee. My job is really cut out for me in supervising section affairs, monitoring the effectiveness of the section operations on a month-by-month basis, evaluating performances at the end of the section term, and submitting my report with any recommendations to my successor when my term ends. Of course, I'm personally concerned with improving the administrative efforts of the section. This is a job the secretary and I can do and perhaps work at continuously. I'm glad we came up with some new ideas, good ones I thought. An organization chart spelling out what we considered to be jobs to be filled to accomplish the goals and objectives that we agreed on. The examination of the section membership is real important. We've got to look at their grades, their job locations, group membership affiliations, something that will give us a feel of what their specific interests might be. A section chairman's job of locating the most able talent available is a real difficult one. We've got to have their interest, ability, and the time to assume the chairmanship of these important section committees. It's sure a challenging job, and it has to be done early. We've got to canvass the field for the best possible candidates. The more qualified the selection is, the easier my job is going to be in running the section. I'm glad that I decided to write to the employers of these fellows that I've selected for committee chairmanships. They're all top-notch fellows, and I know it's going to take the full support of their bosses. A couple of the returns I've had already, and the feedback I've gotten indicates that we've established a new communication channel which will be useful this year and in the future. Thanking them for their support of the section and the IEEE is helping to establish a new rapport. This year's objective in communication improvement also involves more communication with company management and ensuring their awareness of what the section is involved in and is doing for IEEE members of their firm, as well as those who might become members. This section manual sure contains the basic rules and regulations covering section operations. It will help me answer the questions intelligently and know what supplies and services are available from IEEE headquarters. It's prepared in such a way that it doesn't take a great deal of time to go over it and find out what's in it. I know that I must spend a lot of time going over these IEEE bylaws to make sure that we know how to update the section bylaws in conformity. In addition, we've got an organization roster which gives all the information on the IEEE. And in addition to that, IEEE headquarters furnished me a report of the secretary which has a lot of valuable information in it. I've been getting a new feeling on how the section fits into the IEEE picture. This sketch I put together the other day to show the new executive committee just shows how the section is the heart of the IEEE. Showing the membership at the top is a better way of illustrating this relationship. When we keep the flow from the members to the board of directors and back, IEEE is going to continue to be a dynamic organization that it now is. It sure is difficult to know exactly what our members want. I guess all the other 205 section chairmen have got the same problem. The new section inside IEEE that the President is writing in Spectrum is really good. He keeps stressing the fact that the needs of the members must be identified and served through the grassroots at the section level. It's up to me now to keep abreast of these current happenings in IEEE and find ways and means of making sure that Alpha Section carries out the goals and objectives established by the President and the Board of Directors. I want to make sure we invite the President to Alpha Section. He's a busy man, I know, but to hear from him directly and for him to talk to the members and their wives would be real helpful. That's item 1 for the new program committee chairman. At the luncheon meeting last week, Ralph and I and the other new officers looked at organization for the next year and the best candidates to fill the job. This apparently had not been done formally for some time, and our serious approach should pay dividends. The idea of defining section objectives really put the whole year in perspective. Keeping them simple and straightforward made it easier, or will make it easier, to get them accepted. Membership, improved communication, industry support, improved technical services. This sort of crystallizes the areas of need. The subsection held their election about the same time as the section. I called the new subsection chairman to arrange an early convenient date for discussion. You can imagine my surprise to find out that he'd been elected with no prior service or experience on a subsection executive committee. I'm going to have a big indoctrination job to do. I'm glad a date has been set for him and his predecessor to meet with me to discuss the subsection organization and the activities for the coming year, all of which must be approved by the new executive committee and properly coordinated to fit in with the section activities and avoid conflict. He will have to read and study the section manual and related material which he's received from IEEE headquarters prior to our meeting to familiarize himself with his responsibilities. During the long meeting, he agreed with the suggestion that his subsection be organized along the same pattern followed by the section. I have a feeling that his eagerness and interest in assuming his duties will make up for his lack of experience in subsection activities. The group chapters held their elections in April, and I'm glad I've met with the new group chapter chairman to discuss the coordination of their activities in the section program for the coming season. Each told me that they had received from IEEE headquarters a group chapter operations manual. It sure is a good manual. It gives them all their guidelines on their activities. And these fellows realized their main responsibility was to organize meeting programs integrated into the overall section technical program, ones which would have maximum appeal to chapter members. Arrangements have been made for them to meet with the chairman of the program committee of the section to formulate their program. They must remember that they have access to the parent IEEE groups and societies for help in their programs. I'm glad I stressed as chairman that they should be organizing their group chapter administrative committees, paralleling in many ways the executive committee of the section, and the operating in consort with the executive committee of the section. They should seek out enough of group chapter members who were willing and interested in serving on their following committees, other than the technical program, with the chairman of such committees to be appointed by the corresponding section committee, membership, awards, publicity, and public relations, and student activities. I feel that our meeting was successful in developing a better understanding of the relationship of the group chapters of the section and how the respective activities of the section and the group chapter must be better coordinated to serve the needs of the members. Furnishing each section committee chairman with a copy of the respective guidelines for the committee operations and a chart with my suggested organization of the committee, and requesting that they recommend a strong vice chairman, one who could be elevated to committee chairmanship next year, and enough workers to get the committee job done, is already beginning to pay dividends. It's interesting to see the competition for the good workers. I'm scheduling a meeting with each of my committee chairmen and their predecessors to discuss in detail the specific committee responsibilities and review the proposed committee slate to make sure enough of capable people have been selected. Each chairman has a specific deadline to come up with goals and objectives for his committee. The recommended committee slates must be available for discussion and approval at our July Section Executive Committee meeting. I think the Section Awards Committee should have a vice chairman and 4 additional members to start with. The committee will be responsible for soliciting candidates for fellow grade, be responsible for developing nominations for the IEEE annual awards, the field awards, and the prize papers, and developing candidates for any regional awards. And they should be concerned with regional student prize paper contests. I'm asking for a study and recommendation on a program for a section award to an individual making outstanding contributions to the section. With 4 members each, they can individually assume an area of responsibility. Of course, help from the subsection and group chapters is anticipated, and this can be coordinated by the vice chairman. For the Fellowship and Attendance Committee, I have suggested to Jack Jones that in addition to the vice chairman, he appoint 4 members. 2 of these can be responsible for getting the members acquainted with each other at section meetings and promote attendance through telephone reminders to key people located in the various major industries in our section territory. The other 2 people will be concerned with recognition of members, and this can be accomplished by writing 2 letters, one being the letter to welcome the incoming members to the section, covering not only newly elected members, but also existing members moving into the section territory. And the second letter will congratulate those being transferred to a higher grade of membership. The persons we've selected must have enough of secretarial assistance to handle the timely preparation of the letters. Our treasurer will serve as chairman of the Finance Committee. The section manual suggests that one of the additional members could be the junior past section chairman. The treasurer has a big job. He will be concerned with all the money matters, the section accounts, preparation of section financial statements required by the section executive committee and IEEE headquarters, keeping a close eye on income and expenses to make sure we have operated within the budget, monitoring the reserve of section funds, and allocating the necessary funds for the operation of the group chapter and the subsection. Reading the section manual about the History Committee was a real revelation. I knew there was a need. When I delved into this, I discovered that our section would be celebrating its 25th anniversary in 4 years. That's really something. The chairman at that time will probably want to plan a special event, possibly in conjunction with the annual meeting. The chapter members and the past section officers could be especially honored at that time. The records for the past years must be assembled. The 3 life members I have talked to about the History Committee have all expressed a willingness and interest in working on this project. And who could be better suited for this job? This was sure some fine letter I received from the IEEE Membership and Transfers Committee. They told me to lose no time in getting my committee organized for this good responsibility. They also gave me a list of materials that would be available from IEEE headquarters for membership activities. Another thing, they told me that I could get all the help I needed from the Membership and Transfers Committee representative on the regional committee. I'll be frank to say that I hadn't realized how much could be done on membership. This activity has had second-rate casual treatment in our section in the past, and I'm convinced an effective and continuing program must be organized as a part of the standard section operations. My notes say we should promote membership at every section meeting by setting up a membership desk. 30% of those regularly attending meetings are non-members, and someone has to get after them to support the section and the institute by joining. Follow up on members in dues arrears. Follow up on members who resign to find out the reason why. Develop and maintain a prospect list. Promote membership by mail and through our newsletter. Every member gets a new member. Organize a special membership drive during this fall so that new members can get a couple of months break on dues. Give special attention to college graduates moving into our section territory. Get them interested and involved in local activities so that they will want to continue their membership. Promote transfers in grade. The section membership manual recommended that a good gauge on the size of this committee would be one member appointed for each 20 members of the section. With 600 members in our section, I have recommended to the chairman that he select 20 lively people to assist him, in addition to the special representatives he will designate for each of the 8 major electronic industries in our area. With these 28 workers, plus the chairman and vice chairman, perhaps a good deal more activity can be generated in this particularly important endeavor. I intend to monitor the results of this effort very closely. This can be done readily now from the new monthly membership statistics being furnished by IEEE headquarters to each section. The new brochure, Membership Benefits, is sure to be a big help in our work. I have to give serious thought to the program activities for the year. I guess that most section officers feel that the Program and Educational Activities Committee is about the most important one in the section, since the effectiveness with which it operates influences directly the amount of interest which the year's program will command. I feel pleased in having selected Bob Armstrong, the most capable individual I could find, to chair this committee. He is going to develop, in conjunction with his committee and the group chapter chairman, a crackerjack program for the year and submit it in time for review and approval at the July Section Executive Committee meeting. This chart I sketched for him suggests that he take into consideration the regular section meetings, possible inspection trips, one possible joint meeting with Gamma section, one all-day section technical conference on a subject of general appeal to all section members, such as engineering management, engineering in medicine and biology, etc. One social meeting, which may or may not be combined with the annual meeting. I have asked him to give particular thought to education programs and seminars and to contact IEEE headquarters for ideas and help on these programs. When I was vice chairman of the section, I attended one of the section workshops where I heard one section report that their lecture series had not only been popular with the members, but also had been a good source of income from registration to support increased activities of the section. Our program committee must look into this also and submit recommendations, including suggested topics for a possible lecture series. With DeWitt University and Franklin Technical Institute in our area, our program should include one special night for the students. I think the students should plan this one themselves. We can give them good backing. In the May issue of Spectrum, the Syracuse section reported success in an innovative program designed to offset member apathy. Their plan has resulted in increased attendance by concentrating on just 5 high-interest section meetings during the year. Each meeting combines technical sessions, a social interlude, and an after-dinner speaker or panel discussion concerned with social, political, or economic issues of topical interest. To interest members' wives, a special session for women was held at each meeting on subjects of interest to them. This chart we put together outlines the possible areas for publicity and can be used to develop a concept of operation. I have recommended that this committee include for liaison purposes the editor of the Alpha newsletter. Our section has done a pretty good job in the past on publicity in general, but there are areas where we could do more. That young boy Jack Raymond I selected for chairman is publicity-minded and employed professionally in the publicity department of Cosmic Electronics, which just moved into our area. Perhaps nowhere in the section do we have more opportunity for developing a good image of IEEE and the engineering profession than in developing good publicity outlets in the newspapers and with our radio stations. The TV station is going to take more work. Our section publication, the Alpha newsletter, is modest, but we use it to advertise meetings of our section, the subsection, and the group chapters. It is more economical to issue one publication monthly with all the meeting notices than to use separate mailings. Our editor has agreed to continue in office, and we discussed plans to expand it to include news from the student branch and activities in the region and from IEEE headquarters that would be of particular interest to our members. I referred the editor to the Inside IEEE column in the monthly Spectrum as a background source of interesting news on what is taking place or what is being contemplated by headquarters. I'm also making sure that he gets a copy of Electrical Engineering from IEEE, which contains the very latest events taking place within the Institute, including actions by the IEEE Executive Committee and Board of Directors. Both of us feel for those members unable to attend all the section meetings, they will feel more a part of the section and the Institute if the publications can be made more attractive and informative by the addition of other news items. I also received from headquarters a notice calling my attention to the new program being initiated through IEEE Membership and Transfers Committee having to do with graduating student members. I was informed by the chairman of the Regional Activities Board that a substantial percentage of graduating students failed to continue membership in the IEEE and that this loss can be due to very little attention given to this category of membership, either from the Institute or the local section. Headquarters can just do so much in this area, and it is really up to the section to establish the vital member-to-member exchange with the recent graduate to get him involved so that he is interested in continuing his membership. I have selected a recent graduate to head the Student Activities Committee because I felt we needed some young blood, and he will have a first-hand knowledge of the needs of the students and how to communicate with them. He said he felt honored to be selected, and I'm especially pleased to see his enthusiasm for organizing an effective program for getting greater participation by the students in the section activities. This should lead to greater interest on their part in continuing membership following graduation. As chairman of the section, the IEEE bylaws specify that I'm responsible for appointing a nominating committee consisting of 3 or more section members who are not section officers. I have selected 4 past section chairmen, with the senior past section chairman serving as chairman of this committee. They are charged with the task of developing a slate of candidates for the coming year in accordance with requirements specified in our section bylaws. I gave them 2 additional tasks which I felt would be helpful to the section executive committee. A selection of candidates to be recommended for the office of regional director, and identification of qualified members in the section area who could be considered for appointment to the IEEE standing committees and boards. I'm sure we can be an asset to IEEE by nominating some of our highly qualified Alpha section members. Gee, being a section chairman is a big job, but a darn interesting one too. I just really can hardly wait until I can make a progress report at our first executive committee meeting.